How has mental illness changed your relationships? Please leave a comment below. Chapter 5: Overcoming the Fear of Rejection. Redefining rejection: why rejection isn't a reflection of your worth and how to cope with the fear of it. Rejection is one of the most significant fears men face when it comes to making new connections. Whether it's asking someone to hang out, attempting to make a new friend, or sharing something vulnerable with someone, the fear of being rejected can be paralyzing. For many men, rejection is viewed not just as a social setback, but as a deep personal failure and indication that they aren't worthy of friendship or companionship. However, this is a destructive and inaccurate way of viewing rejection. First and foremost, it's important to recognize that rejection does not define your worth as a person. Rejection is simply a part of life, a normal, unavoidable experience that everyone encounters, especially when they put themselves out there. Whether in friendships, romantic relationships, or even professional settings, everyone experiences rejection at some point. The key is not in avoiding it, but in reframing how you perceive it and how you cope with it. In many cases, rejection occurs for reasons that have nothing to do with your character or worth. People are complex, and their reasons for not reciprocating your friendship might be based on their own circumstances, needs, or limitations. Perhaps they are going through something in their own life that makes them less available for socializing, or they may simply not be in a place where they can foster a new relationship. Rejection can sometimes be as much about timing and compatibility as it is about who you are as a person. The fear of rejection often arises from a distorted view of failure. Men are often taught to see rejection as a mark of inadequacy, but in reality, rejection is not an indication of your personal failings. It's simply a part of the process of finding people with whom you connect. The more you face rejection with the understanding that it's not personal, the easier it becomes to cope with. Embracing rejection as a natural part of forming connections makes it less intimidating and less emotionally charged. One key strategy in dealing with rejection is to practice self-compassion. Instead of berating yourself for the rejection, treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend who had experienced a similar situation. Recognizing that rejection happens to everyone and that it doesn't diminish your value is an essential step in overcoming the fear of it. Small steps to connect: how initiating small interactions can lead to deeper, lasting relationships. For men struggling to build new friendships, the idea of making lasting connections can seem overwhelming. However, the key to overcoming the fear of rejection and forming meaningful relationships is to start small. Initiating small interactions with others, whether it's a casual conversation with a coworker or inviting a neighbor to grab a coffee, can gradually lead to deeper, more authentic connections over time. Small steps help build confidence and make the process of forming new relationships feel less intimidating. By focusing on incremental interactions rather than trying to force deep connections right away, you give yourself the freedom to grow the relationship naturally without the pressure of immediate closeness. A simple "how's your day going?" or an invitation to join a group activity can open the door to further engagement and eventually genuine friendships. The benefit of taking small steps is that it removes the pressure of needing to make a perfect impression or form a lifelong friendship on the first try. Small interactions help to normalize socializing and make it easier to engage with others without overthinking. Each small positive interaction reinforces the idea that making new friends is not an all-or-nothing endeavor. It's a process of building trust and familiarity over time. In many cases, starting small also allows you to discover shared interests that can serve as the foundation for a deeper connection. Whether it's a hobby, a common interest, or a mutual understanding, these small conversations can be the starting point for more significant relationships. Over time, these interactions accumulate and you find yourself with a growing circle of people with whom you feel comfortable and connected. Finding safe spaces where men can find communities or activities that encourage connection without pressure. One of the most important steps in overcoming loneliness and isolation is finding communities or activities where connection is encouraged but not forced. For many men, finding a safe space, whether it's a group, club, or shared interest, provides an opportunity to meet new people in a low-pressure environment. Finding these safe spaces often requires stepping outside of one's comfort zone and being open to new experiences. For men, social environments like sports leagues, hobby groups, book clubs, or volunteer organizations can provide excellent opportunities to meet others without the expectation of deep emotional involvement from the outset. These settings foster connection by focusing on shared activities or goals rather than placing an emphasis on personal vulnerability or deep emotional sharing right away. For instance, joining a local gym or fitness class can be a way to meet people while focusing on self-improvement. Similarly, participating in team sports or recreational leagues allows men to bond with others over common goals, fostering camaraderie in a way that doesn't require heavy emotional labor. Even professional networking events can become spaces for building new relationships in an organic way, where people are more likely to engage in conversation around shared interests or professional aspirations. Support groups, therapy groups, or community programs are also excellent places to meet people who understand the value of connection. These groups create an environment of shared understanding and emotional safety, where men can discuss their challenges without fear of judgment. Whether focused on mental health, addiction recovery, or specific life challenges, these groups provide an opportunity to connect with others in a space that encourages honesty and openness. The key to finding safe spaces is to seek out environments where the pressure to form relationships is minimal. Communities that focus on a shared activity or purpose can make it easier for men to connect with others naturally without feeling overwhelmed by the need for emotional depth right away. Moving forward, in this chapter, we explored the critical role that overcoming the fear of rejection plays in fostering meaningful relationships. By redefining